You're live. Hi, Facebook family and friends. I'm T.
T. Who?
I'm gonna say that after you say who you are.
Oh boy. What's up, y'all? GL, what's happening?
Hatchett, and this is the Hatchett Chronicles. You like
Again.
how I did that?
No.
You know
Stick
what?
to the script.
What script? Happy Father's Day, everyone. Well, the fathers. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, fellas.
So we had a topic, but in light of it being Father's Day, we decided to honor the fathers. So before we begin, because I also wrote a poem for the fathers, it's on Facebook. Some people saw it, some people didn't. So I'm gonna read it. But of course, before we get started in our topic, which is honoring fathers, for Father's Day, we have to do our little, public announcements and our little stuff.
Shameless plugs.
Yeah, our little plugs. So first of all, we are not licensed in anything. The views expressed here are ours and our experiences.
Strictly our opinion.
Yeah, basically.
This show and previous shows are strictly opinionated.
And also, if you like Hatchet Chronicles or you follow us, please continue to like, share. And we are also live on YouTube at the Hatchet Chronicles. So you can go to YouTube and subscribe and like.
And press the notification bell
Yes.
for new videos.
Oh, you're so smart. No, you really are. And so plugs. Okay, so my book, The Power of God, is still on sale. I am me. I am my husband. Text me if you have my number or my husband's number. It's $15, $3 shipping and handling. And get your book, The Power of God, if you haven't gotten it already. Also, I'm in the process of writing my second book, which is called Life After Bent Knees. Also, my husband and I are co-authoring, if that's a word, a book called From My Rib.
Mm-hmm.
He made the title. I always forget the title, but From My Rib. That one probably will be out before Life After Bent Knees, because we are really, the progress on From My Rib is really faster, more advanced than Life After Bent Knees.
Mm-hmm.
Also, look out for the Corona Chronicles. I am a author in that. My sister Valerie McAllister, Arthur Valerie McAllister, has had. She started that. She picked 15 authors, or 15 authors volunteered, and we wrote a chapter in her book called Corona Chronicles. So look out for that book coming soon. And also shout out to Valerie. She has her web series, The Ladies of the Book Club. She has two books. The Book Club 1, the Book Club 2, Carol's Return. So, go look her up. She's doing amazing things. I'm so proud of my sister. I'm still creating and negotiating contracts. So if you need a contract, I am also I help small businesses get up and running. So, and I'm really been getting back into that and doing that a lot lately. And I think that's it for me. What's going on with you?
Nothing.
He always says that, don't he?
Basically the same stuff. I'm pretty sure you guys have an idea of what it is. I got the beat tape still circulating. That's a good thing. On all your stream sites, you can go get that. Like she said, we got the book. Um, I'm still working on the class for the beginner beat makers. With that, you finish the class, you get a 5,000 sound um, beat pack. I mean, sound pack. Um,
You guys, please support my husband and his 4 Alarm Thursdays. They haven't been consistent because of technical issues, but when he is on, he is doing his thing. Um,
I, yeah, I do have the 4 Alarm Thursdays. Pardon me, you guys. 4 Alarm Thursdays. It's a live DJ stream I do on Facebook Live. Um, I'm having a lot of fun doing that too, man. I'm in kind of, you could say, like a coalition of DJs. There's 11 of us, and we all join each other's page when we're doing stuff. So it's really fun. I have a good time.
we can tell by your face and your smile how much you enjoy doing that.
I haven't DJed in over 25 years, so
Yeah, but everybody comment on your smile, how your smile is.
I'm handsome. What that? I mean, what can I say?
Yeah, oh my God, conceit.
No, I'm sure. I conceited. I'm convinced.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No,
We'll allow him
anyway.
that. No, he can have that. It's Father's Day. Let him have that one. Let him have it.
I'm just joking.
Let him have it. It's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day.
Forgive me, y'all. I got the Thursdays going on. Yeah, I've been having some technical difficulties with the stream, but I think I nipped it in the bud. And I don't know, man. I was thinking about doing a pop-up today. And the pop-up is when you don't promote it, you just go on and just rock out. So for Father's Day, I was thinking about maybe after the Hatchett Chronicles, if y'all keep rocking with me, you might see me jump on and play some good house music for Father's Day, man. So y'all could, get your groove on, dance around the crib and all that.
Get your groove on.
What else am I doing?
Loving me.
Huh?
Loving me.
Yeah, I love you. Yeah, that's a given. I guess that's it, man. I don't really have much else going on. When I do get something new, y'all will know about it, So other than that, thanks for joining in, and we're gonna proceed with today's topic.
Honoring fathers.
And it's called Honoring Fathers. Honoring the dudes. And the thing is, as I said that because, there's some dads out here, man, there's some dads that people, have that they say ain't worth 2 red nickels or 2 red pennies or whatever the case. But then there's some dads out here that, they represent, man. They take care of their kids and, love their kids and are there for them and stuff like that. And we want to honor them, just to let them know that, hey, man, we appreciate you,
Like, for instance, my husband, I was getting ready to say, my husband,
I love the kid.
Guys, let me tell you, this man right here, when God gave me him, that was the best present he could have gave me. Because my husband is truly, and let me just say this, most people who know us know that for both of us, this is our 3rd marriage. But my children don't like nobody. Okay, that's just them. They just don't have a good experience with men. So, and they don't trust any men they usually, before this, did not trust any man with their mother.
As they shouldn't.
And so when this man came into their life, that was like their reaction to him is, it's God. I'm not even going to call it a miracle or anything. It's just God. It's plain and simple as that. My husband has his own pure relationship with my children. It has nothing to do with me. And that's what makes it so special, that they have their own relationship. They call them pops. And they my son, I just remarked to him, my son calls him more than he calls me. They have their own thing going on. My youngest son recently met him in 2019, and they talk like, you know, like they've been talking all their lives. So I love that. I love the type of person and he is and the type of father he is, even with his own children who he's close to. I'm honored that even though, which is fortunate for me, I'm no longer in childbearing. I'm not doing children, but I'm honored that I was able to give him a girl because I have girls. And he is so close to them, and that makes me feel good that I didn't have
I
to
love my
go
babies.
through having a baby for him, but I
No,
could.
we ain't doing that.
Yeah, we ain't doing that. But I could give him a girl, and so
You better get a cat.
yeah, exactly. Well, we have a stuffed animal. That's
as far as it goes.
Together, so
That's it.
but there is no step, and I it's just beautiful, and I just appreciate. That's one of the qualities that I very much appreciate about him. And you could tell, and as I was saying, it's pure because my kids don't. They don't mess with nobody.
They don't like themselves.
Yeah, exactly. They don't mess with nobody. Okay, they barely mess with me. Okay, and I'm mama. So it's for them to have a relationship with him like that. I'm impressed. All right, that's impressive. Okay,
that's a beautiful thing. I enjoy them. I have a good time with them. I laugh with them. I cry with them. I talk with them. We talk about everything. Uh, they ask me for advice. I give them advice as best I could. Um, it's a blessing. Hey, thank you, sis. Thank you, sis.
hey, did you get my? You didn't call me. You were supposed to call me. I left you a message on Messenger. But hi, baby. How are you? So, let me read my poem and then we'll continue on the topic. This is a poem I wrote for the fathers, and I posted it on Facebook. But anyway, here it goes. Like anyone could, today I praise my black kings, as we all should. You are not just good men, you are good fathers. It didn't just happen, you have always been. So here's to you. I give honor and praise for all you endure and do. I want you to know I love and appreciate you. Happy Father's Day, my black kings. May this day bring all great things. And that's
nice.
T.
Tone,
Hatchett.
what's up, cuz? What's the deal with you, man? I know.
Well,
I'm talking.
Okay. Excuse me.
Happy Father's Day, bro.
He is really feeling himself today, but we gonna let him have that because it is Father's Day. Okay. But tomorrow.
Tomorrow gonna be the same thing.
Tomorrow.
All right, Annie. Anyway.
You know what?
Anyway.
Thank you, Ma.
So,
honoring fathers. So, like you said before, there are some fathers or some, one of the reasons why I wanted to honor Father's Day is because it's basically, like I said in my poem, black men. They really don't get enough credit.
Let's just say this too, because like here on this platform, we don't pull punches and we don't sugarcoat. We are saying kudos to the ones that are there that do their thing. Exactly. I'm not gonna say every father because it's easy to make a baby, but it takes a man to be a father. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, and I'm not being disrespectful and I'm not disrespecting anyone, But
Thanks, cuz.
you know, it's the truth is the light, and
Yeah.
you know, and it shall set you free at the same time. So, I mean, I'm wanted to honor the fathers that are there, that are there, that stick around, that do what they need to do, that you know, that have the relationship and they break their backs and they do their things. And for the ones that aren't there, then it is what it is.
And
That's
just
my
like
feeling.
a mother, a father does not necessarily have to be the sperm donor of a child. Because, like, for instance, you said, let me bring this to my cousin Tony is on, and he said, and my husband said, Happy Father's Day to him. Tony is a father. You know why Tony's a father? Because not only was Tony instrumental in helping to raise our kids, my sister and I kids, but also his sister has children. She has a boy and a girl. And the father of her son and daughter is my cousin Tony. He's more than an uncle. He is their father. He is that father figure that's been in their life from day one. That's who they go to. That's who they saw as the man.
Who do you run to? Oh, I was trying to get my
yeah.
I forgot their name.
Street corner on.
No. What's the chicks?
Who can I run to?
This no. That was T.I.'s wife is with them.
Oh, Escape.
Yeah. Hey Val.
Hey Val.
So,
and another thing about a father, again, like I said, a father does not necessarily. My father, for instance, who has been my father all my life, who I have called daddy all my life. However, I have two fathers. I have my father who has been daddy all my life, and then I have my father who's my sister father, who is my blood father. Both of them was in my life, and both of them played a role in my life. So again, fathers come in many forms, just like mothers come in many forms. So what we're honoring is the fathers in all forms.
Whether it's a cousin, a brother, a
Uncle.
nephew, or uncle, you know, someone there that's there to help out, and someone there's, you know, that's there to keep the youngins in line and teach them and guide them and give them morals and give them truth and give them, you know, perspective and, you know, all of those things that make a man a man. You know, those are the fathers. So, you know, that don't, like my wife said, it don't actually have to be a sperm donor. That sounds so terrible. You ain't even a sperm donor.
And there are some men who are just sperm donors.
Yeah, it is. Thank you, cuz. Stop trying to make a brother
tear up. You know how we do, cuz.
You need to stop playing.
You know how we do, cuz. Yes, Mom. Anyone who step up.
Exactly. Anyone who steps up, that's a father. It could be a woman. That's just how I feel.
Well, yeah, there are women who
listen. I'm not saying, you know, I'm just saying, like Mom just said, period, point blank. That summed it up. Anyone who steps up. If your sister steps up, happy Father's Day. You know what I mean? Basically. Especially, you know, I mean to a certain extent, because then there does come a time when, you know,
well, let's talk about that.
It comes a time when, you know, a man has to teach a man.
Exactly, because I've always believed it takes a man to make a boy a man, and it takes a woman to make a girl a woman.
Of course.
So
a woman can't teach a man everything.
Exactly.
At a certain point, it's a no-go for her.
Exactly.
It's a no-go.
Exactly.
So I already know what you're saying. I'm way ahead of you. I'll do this thing.
Oh, you're so smart. See? That's that. That is that. It's Father's Day, y'all. Just smile and nod.
Just smile and grin.
Just smile and nod, y'all.
I'm in for it after when this camera off. I care.
Whatever. As you can see, y'all, we are always in a bubbly mood because
that's a good thing.
Love
a good
is.
Time.
Love is. This is love. What are you looking over there for?
That rain is doing something serious outside.
Is that right?
Yes, it is. Yes, the TI is. So,
you know what? You're old. What?
Yes, the TI is.
Yes, that's what old men say.
I'm 53 years old. What do you want? I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I mean, you know.
So we really are in agreement about honoring Father's Day, huh? Because there's nothing that, this is not one of those hot topics.
No, so I'm going to say that we can jump into
the subject that
we were going to jump into in the beginning, because I guess we're all in agreement on that part of the father thing. So happy Father's Day, whether it's a man, woman, child, or whatever. Someone, like my mom said, she summed the whole show up in a few words. Anyone that steps up, happy Father's Day. All right. So now.
Okay, so let's get into juice.
Something hot and heavy.
Juice. So our topic, which we're going to start it now, and we'll probably have to continue it next week. So forgive me, y'all, because I'm old, so I have to look things up.
And you talked about me.
Yeah, but do I say old sayings like you?
You're worse.
Like I've heard some people, you don't say this though, they ask you how you doing. All fair to Midland.
I don't.
Tony, do you say
isn't that a
fair to Midland if somebody asks how you doing?
Is that a South thing?
No, I knew some. Ron Heyman used to say that when you asked him how he was doing. He used to say fair to Midland.
Was he from the North?
Mm-hmm.
Or did he move?
Well, I mean, I don't know. He was born in New Jersey. His mother and father was in New Jersey, but I don't know. Like after that, they could have had. But I know they're from the North. But anyway.
All right. So the topic was this.
It was a product of the environment.
Are you a product of your environment,
or is that an excuse? Yes.
That's heavy.
Yes, because Valerie says she said it because she got it from her father. See, Daddy was old. Big Daddy was old. I mean, for us, he was old because, So, of course, he said fair to Midland. That's an old thing.
So, I have a question. I'm going to pose this to all the listeners right now. Is there such a thing as being a product of your environment? I'm playing the devil's advocate this evening. Is there a such thing as being a product of your environment, or
do you use that as an excuse?
Right, because at the end of the day, we are individuals, and we have the choice to go our own way and do our own things. So, with that being said, the question is there a such thing as being a product of your environment, or is that an excuse?
You have not recovered, have you? You're fair. Fair
the Midland.
Sometimes you're fair to the Midland.
Okay, so what do you think?
So, I think to a point you are a product of your environment. And what I mean by that is that I believe, and statistics, this is where my psychology course came in, that from birth to 5 is when you learn most of your habits. That's what the book says. Okay. So And you can argue this. I'm gonna give you a chance to argue this, but this is what the book says.
Please.
So, if you have nothing to compare, no experience, no guidance, then yes, you can be a product of your environment, which is what I was getting ready to say. So, to a point, because of what you learn from 0 to 5, okay? But then after a certain time frame, or after maybe going out there into the world and learning something new, then you can change. Some people. Some people, it becomes an excuse and they use that
To not want to be leaders.
to not want to be leaders, to not do the right thing. For many different reasons, they use that. Now, that is my belief. That I believe that it depends. Because here's the thing. Also, something else I learned, and Valerie read a dirty book, because the book um was kind of dirty, but the idea of what he said about traveling is true. You read that gray
50
book,
Shades of Grey.
50 Shades of Gray, and in it was talking about if you live in one type environment, like we live in the United States, so all we know is this culture. But if you go to other places, then there's other cultures that we might not agree with, but we don't agree with it because of what we have learned in the United States. If we had been in that culture, then we wouldn't have disagreed with it. You
Okay.
understand what I said? Like, for instance,
I understand that, but let me say this. Okay, so then, at what point do you open your mind and want to understand or learn about different cultures? Because a lot of times, like right now, I'm not going to say way back, but I'm just going to say as of now, since social media and YouTube and stuff like that, right? You have London at your fingertips. You have Zimbabwe at your fingertips. You understand what I'm saying? So to speak. So you could go on the internet, and if you wanted to learn about cultured food, you could do that. If you wanted to learn about the kind of garments they wear, you could go on, and find out.
Val said that wasn't a dirty book. Mom said, yes, it was. It was, Mom. It was a dirty book.
And what you say, Tom?
Valley said, so you read it, Mom? Don't tell her yourself,
Joke.
Tony said, yes, we are products of our environment to a degree, because there was so many positive things about our neighborhoods that was extremely powerful, that have been useful and resourceful, even our lives as we speak.
That's exactly right. But then you know what, cuz? At some point it was tainted.
That's good. Mom got out of that real quick.
Mom
She
says,
says, Feekwood told her about it.
So I believe that if you want to learn about another culture, you can.
Yeah, and you raised a good point. Here's what I think. You asked the question. You was like, at what point do you learn? Now, that's where I think it's up to
the individual.
No, the teacher. Like, for instance, wait,
to a degree.
Hear me out.
All right.
My mom let us. She allowed us to have our own mind to a point. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, for instance, she always told her, to go and find out for herself. We were Muslims for a while. She allowed us to be Muslims. She allowed us to go to church if we wanted to. She allowed us to experience different religions, I guess you would say.
Experiencing
different life, and she encouraged us to read on it. So it wasn't just we're this and this is all as it is in life. So with giving us that open-mindedness and allowing us to do it as we got older, we had the gumption to go out there and well, let's see what this is about, or travel, or go and see different experiences. Whereas some people, they teach their kids a straight way, and that's all it is to life. Like, for instance, Mormons are Mormons.
Right.
There's no other, you can't cross that line.
Just like what is it?
What's the Jewish the
I can't think. It'll come to me. But as mom too, as my mom, the same
yeah.
thing.
So I think
She
that's
allowed us to be freely and discover things on our own too. Some
and
use the environment.
as a motivational to do better. Exactly.
This is what I'm saying. That's what I mean by at what point do you know what I mean? Because you can't keep saying, well, shucks, man.
I can't do anything.
Since all my dudes smoke weed, I'm gonna just hang with them and smoke weed. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, weed is not a bad thing. It's a plant from the earth. So people trip on that.
But just the point of drugs, or selling drugs, everybody in my neighborhood sells drugs.
So
I gotta, exactly.
No.
But again, like I said, it's the part of your teacher too, because like for instance, Isaiah, what's his name, the basketball player? Isaiah Thomas. His mom refused to. She held off a whole game. They had a story about him, how she held off the whole game, and she said, "My son is going to be more." Yeah. She refused to allow her son to be in that environment, which gave him a different way of thinking. So, and then there are people who cannot get out, who will not. Like for instance, you had your mom, so you even though you were in that environment because of your mom, you didn't stay there. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that if you have a role model,
or someone there to
show you that there's another way to look at it, then you might not go that route. Then you do have the people who just, I'm in it, so I'm in it.
I said regardless if we
acquire resilient behavior or resilient behavior or thoughts, and we become positive being all a product of representation of our environment.
To an extent, yes.
Define product. Okay, let me look that up. And Tony said, take a minute to think about what came out of the hood that became pure greatness. When you put enough pressure on coals, it turns to diamonds.
That's a fact.
You're right.
Fact. There's a lot of stuff that came out of the hood that became great. It's a whole lot of things.
But what made them come out of it?
Probably being individuals wanting to do better,
like you said, what
at what point was the turnaround?
Yeah.
I want to say Mom said, but I can't see that. But they are leaders
and followers. And when you see guys slinging and making more money in one day than some household members making a week,
that will put you out there to want to go ahead and get you some of that bread.
That's true. But again.
But it's still the same mindset. Yeah, you're right, Mom. You're right. I think that
again,
I believe as you get older and you realize exactly what is out there and you start to, see all your homies, this one going to jail or that one got killed, or when you start to see things happening around you and it's close to you and close up on you, you'll have you start to get a different perspective. You start to say, man, listen, I don't want this for me. You know what I'm saying? Some
believe that they can't. It's like what was that synopsis where you put a bee or something in a bottle and you put a lid on it and they jump and can't get out, and then you take the lid off of it and they still don't get out because they don't believe that after a while you have broken their spirit and they don't believe that they can get out even though the top is not there. So I think that for some people that is them becoming a product of their environment, that their spirit is broken and no one was there to help them to lift their spirit or to keep their spirit, so they just don't believe they can get out.
Okay, so check this out. God just put this on my spirit, right? So let's flip this, right? Because we're going, product of our environment to an extent. The way the conversation is, we're looking at our environment as being bad, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
somewhat negative, right? So let's flip the environment, okay? And
Mm-hmm.
say we're brought up in an environment middle to upper class, right? Is that still the same?
Mm-hmm.
Is it still the same thing?
Because you have rich people who, and there's movies and shows on that. Overboard. Remember the movie Overboard? They got a recent one, and then they got the old one with Goldie Hawn. Well, if someone is rich and don't know no better, they don't even know how to go out there and like be in survival mode. They don't know nothing about the streets because they're a product of their environment, and everything's always been handed to them, and they've always had money to pay for everything. Valerie said not necessarily bad. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So that's what he's saying. He flipped it.
I'm not
Flipped
saying
it.
that our environment is bad. I'm just saying I said somewhat negative, like because so far we've been saying a product of our environment, basically meaning we attach ourselves we attach ourselves to the negative connotations of what's going on in our neighborhoods. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, that's where the topic or the conversation comes from, because of we know that our hood is bad. You understand what I mean? To a certain extent. So I was just flipping it, right? To say, okay, you came up with a silver spoon, right? So you come up with a silver spoon, you're a product of that environment, right? But then in the end, at what point do they fall off
And say, let
and
me go
go?
experience what.
You understand what I'm saying? Are you getting what I'm
Again,
trying to
yeah,
say?
and again,
At
I
what
say
point,
that's
what
how
pushes
you
them to
raise, because
the point where they fall off, and then it's they go and get into methamphetamine, and you know what I mean, and overdose, and they wind up in rehabs and stuff like
but
that.
it
But
doesn't
I mean,
necessarily have to be like that. It could be a product of an environment. For instance,
or they lose their money or something.
no. Here's another product of the environment. Let's say you're born to a black mother and a white father, or a white,
Vice versa.
yeah, or vice versa. Okay, so one of them leaves. Let's say the black father leaves, and you're surrounded by all white people.
That's like the
So
movie we saw the other
exactly.
night.
So all your product of environment, you're a product of the environment, because that's all you know. That's how you was raised in that type of atmosphere. So that's the atmosphere that you're gonna live as, or vice versa. You're raised by the black family, and that's the environment you're gonna live at, because that's you're a product of your environment. So it could be any type thing.
Val said the question is, are we a product of our environment, good or bad?
Are we a result of our life process?
I would say so. Tony said,
Well,
what?
I wanted Valerie asked what was the definition of a product of environment, and for what we're talking about, it's the second one, because there's many definitions of product. But the second one say a thing or person that is the result of an action or process.
I would say a result of a process.
His daughter, the product of his first marriage. So that's she was the result of a process,
right?
Which is what Valerie is saying.
Basically, right? Okay.
Am I correct? Are we a result of our life process, more than just the product, which is the definition?
Right. I think we're part of the
which
process.
is the term of the definition.
Right. So I would say process.
Tony said we must understand that everything that exists in the inner city was already strategically figured out by the powers that be. True.
Facts.
Mom said children who grow up rich have a attitude of privilege and expect their money to pave the way. Exactly.
And that
which is the
process
of the result of our life process.
Right. Right. Right.
Which turn
product of that environment.
Exactly.
Right. So I mean, at the same time, you know, just like that movie the other night. That movie was insane. That movie was insane. I mean,
yeah, and I'm having a senior moment because I can't think of the name of it. Mom, what was the name of the movie? With Carrie Washington.
Woo! Mom said, "Okay, what about children that grow up in a gay household?"
Oh wow. Okay.
That's different. It got silent in here. No,
okay,
but
okay,
now that's deep because now with that, that's a fine line. That's a walk on a fine side because
I don't even know what to say about that because that's.
I mean, you can't. You know what?
In one way,
Jesus help us.
Yeah.
Please give me something, Lord.
In one way, okay. Little fires. No, I'm talking about the movie we just saw with her in it. The
when she had the black white husband and her son was black and he got killed riding in the car with his 3 friends.
Yes, Valley. Valley said there is resiliency, which are people who have negative life process that they turn into positivity.
On both sides.
And both sides. And what I'm saying that it's because they had some sort of inspiration to do so.
Or someone.
Oh, I believe that it's because they have had some sort of inspiration.
Hey, BB, thank you.
To do so. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that, like, for instance, Isaiah Thomas' mother, or other people who said, hey, even a bum in the street, there has been homeless guys who have taken on, or homeless people who have taken on, we're going to make this child better. We're not going to let this child become a product of their environment or giving them some inspiration.
And that's crazy because at the same time, that kind of goes back to what we were talking about when we first came on, the comment that Mom said, anybody that'll step up. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Valerie said, what is the question about children that grow up in gay households? Are they a product of their environment? Will they become a product of their environment?
Or will they see? That's the Mom. Why would you do that?
Yeah, Mom, that's not right.
Mom be dropping bombs, but I would say the only thing that I could say with that, because it's so many. How can I say? There's so many little intricate things with that situation.
Yeah,
I would say the only thing with that, I would say, you would just have to pray, and you just ask God to guide that situation and to lean on that situation.
Even that's a whole nother thing to that, because it's like even in that's
a whole nother show.
There is so many intricate parts to
Mom, that's another show.
Yeah, because that's like a whole, like, you could break that down into a million pieces.
BB said, when you know better, you do better. That's true.
Sometimes some people don't. That comes back to, is it an excuse or are you really a product of your environment? Because some people use that as an excuse of,
they do.
Well,
man, look, I
can't because this one did that.
My man and them, you know what I'm saying? I was with them, and It wasn't supposed to go down like that, but it did. But bro, you didn't have to be there. You could have separated yourself. You know what I'm saying? Mom said what now?
She said most the children grow up hating the church because the only family that they know is rejected by the church when it's what the word says. Exactly. That's why when he said pray on it, you can't, because then that becomes, you know, that's just a yes and no question. That's like, all kinds of intricacies to that because.
Listen, God does not give us a mind of confusion.
No, he doesn't.
You know what
but
no,
what
no, no,
I'm
I'm
saying
just, let me
is to say.
No, I'm not saying us. I'm saying period.
Agree. But what
You know
I'm
what I mean?
saying, I'm not even talking about God. I'm talking about the children themselves or the people themselves.
Like, that are raising that child.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying
that's confusion.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
God does not give us the
Valerie said, yes, they are a product of their process. However, the process is about how they are raised, not their sexual orientation. No, Valerie, it still can be about how they are raised because they could be raised,
seeing that all the time and thinking that that's normal. And very well turn out like, said, and then what happened?
Mom said, rejecting God and the church because their parents are rejected.
Or have rejected the church.
Yeah. So they could be raised as, the right way or believe in certain things, but because of what society teaches.
But see, the thing with now, like I said, there's so many intricacies with that is because now, if you had that situation, right, and just say it's two men in the household raising a man, raising a boy, right, and that now on TV, every show you watch, it's both women on women and men on men. You know what I mean? So now this child is growing up to think that this lifestyle is normal. You understand what I'm saying? I don't knock what nobody else is doing. That's your thing. That's your thing. But I know the God I serve says that's an abomination, right? So with that being said, I feel like that situation is not cool.
Valerie said, do we raise children to be heterosexual? I think that heterosexuals try to raise their kids to be heterosexual.
I mean, that's the proper
No, God
way.
is not the author of confusion. People are confused at all get up. Yeah, that's true.
That's exactly right, Mom. And I mean, heterosexual, that's... Listen, wait. Before you say that, right? Here's my thing. This is what I say. Okay. A lot of people always say, well, I was born like this. I grew up like this. This is who I am. This is right? But see, this is just my personal opinion. Okay. This is my personal opinion. If you look at nature, God created nature. He created us, right? Do you see two male dogs laying down? Do you see two male elephants, two male lions? Do you see two male giraffes? You understand what I'm saying? If you look at, you got, man, it's just look at what it is. I guess.
Valerie said, and I'm going to remark on it. Valerie said, I don't remember thinking, let me raise my children to be heterosexual. And if they become gay, it is then because I raised them that way. No, that's not it. But here's my question. Back in the day, and I have to say this, back in the day, my opinion, there was never a question of did we raise our kids heterosexual. It was just that we raised boys and girls. And we raised boys that we knew one day they would be with a girl, or we automatically assumed. And we raised girls that one day they will be with a man or a boy or whatever you want to call it. And there wasn't, and right or wrong, I'm just saying, There wasn't this thing or having to justify everything that you said or justify being who you were. You know, you didn't have to justify you dating a man, or you didn't have to justify not wanting to see that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you didn't. There was, or being politically correct.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
there was a time when you could say certain things without offending a whole community.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And like, being politically correct. There's certain things right now at this day and time that you can't say because it automatically becomes a hate crime.
Exactly.
Or there's things you can't say because, it's belittling a whole culture. And that, to me, that's not a culture. That's a cult. To me,
Mom said we had Christian beliefs. We as Christians believe that we are made in the image and likeness of God.
Right. That's right. That's right. That is exactly right. So, I mean, with
or defend that when we say that we don't have to incorporate the LBGTQ, whatever that is, into the NAACP.
Right.
You know, we shouldn't have to justify not wanting to incorporate that because that's two different things. Why should we have to justify that?
What did Brenda say, baby?
Brenda said not everyone can raise a child, but I do feel that if a child is in family where there's two men or two women, as long as they're given.
Uh-oh, the feed jumping. Hold on, y'all.
As long as they're giving them the love they need and food and a roof over their head, they can figure it out themselves. And I'm sure the couple will sit down with the child when the time is right. And definitely before they start school, because the kids are going to start clowning, and that's going to be a mess. But it's definitely how they raise the kids and if they're strong. Valerie said, I think some people do feel that they are raised that way. Some are experienced. Some make a choice. I'm not God, so I don't think I can decide on who someone can love, but that might be another show.
I don't think it's so much saying who you can love and who you can't love. Basically, I'm just saying that the act isn't what the act isn't what God wants. Period.
Tony said this is the agenda of New World Order. The sentence to depopulate the planet and its workings. Val said white people can say the same about black culture, bro. I disagree with that, Valley, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
What do you mean, sis? What you mean?
Mom said because what she said about this is agenda. I think she was talking to Tony, but let me be sure. I don't know. Because President Obama made gay marriage legal, it becomes a hate crime.
Yeah.
Robert Chambers
said, Happy Father's Day,
cuz. Valley said we need to be careful how intolerant of others causes as black people. We need to be careful of how intolerant of others causes intolerant of others causes as black people. Because some cultures can say that about us. Now here's what I believe in that, Valerie.
Okay.
First of all, we're going to get it regardless because that's just how it has been. So we're going to constantly fight no matter what. I understand that we have to be careful about, I understand what you're saying about being careful about other causes, but our cause is so huge that I think that we need to concentrate more on our cause than others' causes.
You can't clean because you can't clean someone else's backyard.
Yeah, because yours is dirty. Exactly, because regardless, we always gonna get being the short end of the stick. So we can't always jump on the bandwagon of other causes because you know what? Guess what? Let's just put it out here. Gay might be bad, but if you're black and gay, it's worse. Okay? being a woman might be bad, but being a black woman is worse. You know,
being a black lesbian.
But being a black woman,
period.
You know, being a man, men might have trials and tribulations, but if you're a black man, you in the dirt. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that, we can't all the time be in the cause, and I don't think that we should get penalized just because we don't want to put gays on the bandwagon with us. Because at the end of the day, a white gay still has more status than a black gay any day, anytime. And I agree with Tony. It's white people have put things in our environment and in our neighborhood to try to destroy us. And it has always crossed over to them. And then it becomes something different, which is another show.
Val said what?
Okay.
You
said we have to be careful of what we say because it could be called a hate crime. White people can say the same thing about Black Lives Matter, and they do.
I mean, it is what it is. It's just the way it is.
Because why is it worse to be black and gay? Because anything that has anything to do with black is worse. Not I'm saying it is. That's just society. Society has made that way. That anything that has to do with black, even in the dictionary, black is bad. Black is negative.
Exactly.
Anything dark becomes negative according to society. That's what they have implemented. It's not true. But that's what it has been implemented.
And white is pure.
White is pure and beautiful.
Why can't black be the unknown? And why isn't the unknown beautiful?
We don't need to be too careful about somebody's culture, but ours, we're the ones that have a lot of work to do. True that, Tony. I agree. Nobody is denying the struggles of black. This is from Valley. Nobody is denying the struggles of black people, but our allies are all different people and cultures. That's true.
They are,
we're not taking that from them.
Right. Not in any way at all. And Mom said what?
Well, I have already written a letter stating I do not want Nassim Cooper Johnson to be taught Johnny has two fathers and it's okay. Absolutely not. And I'm yelling because
she wrote it in capital letters. So.
Right. Being minister of the Most High, I know. Mom said that. Valley said, I'm not denying the struggle of black people. That's not what I said. Okay.
So clarify what you mean, sister.
Exactly. You see, that's your brother that you love being smart.
You know I love her with like cuckoo.
Name some of our allies. Tony said name some of our allies.
It's getting hot and heavy now. It always get hot and heavy at
near the end. We got like
time to jump off.
Yeah.
We're gonna rock out for a little bit. Hey Vera.
Hey Vera. Good evening to you both. Happy Father's Day, Frank.
Thank you.
I'd like to add my thoughts on this topic. God created us to interact with a man and woman, but people make choices to go against God's word. And he told us he would allow us to do whatever we want to do by being disobedient. Romans 1:28, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. So people chose whatever they want to do and be.
But at the same time,
Valerie said, my point is what you said about hate crimes. Tony said, I'll wait. He's
Tony's stupid.
You know what? Listen, y'all.
Look,
I'm just the messenger.
What Vera said, you're right about that. You're right about that. So then I'm gonna ask you something. So then at what point does Mom
reassess Vera?
So then at what point does, if it's two men or it's two women and they're raising a child, at what point and how does that conversation go? You understand what I mean? You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I'm playing devil's advocate right now.
And if they believe in God, how do they explain that away?
Facts.
Black is pure and beautiful. I have never in my life no white man or woman on a pedestal. Never ever. So if we are black people would stop putting that out there. I refuse to look at any race as better than one another. You're right about that. And all I was saying is that because society teaches that, or society has stated that, then we have to be careful of, because my sister was saying how, we have to be careful
of other cultures,
of other causes like
my bad,
like LBG, the gay community and everything like that. And I said, first and foremost, we have to look at ourselves, because society would deem us to say that because we are black,
we are the lesser.
We are the lesser. So if you have a white gay and a black gay, society would look at the black gay as the lesser. Yeah, as the trash.
That's a fact. And that's just the way it is.
Mom said, yes, Vera. And Valley said, the people protesting are all of cultures, and I want them marching for us. It's the strategy necessary, and I'm all about my black people, but I'm not naive enough to believe we don't need allies. Tony said, I'm digging the dialogue, but I thought the subject matter was about fathers.
You know what? Tone came right in with a spatula and flipped the whole joint. No, but
if you was listening, okay, let me get with you, because if you was listening, we had about 15 minutes of agreeing that there are all types of fathers out here. Right. It didn't have to be a sperm donor, and because we was all in agreement, there was no hot heated topic in that, because everybody was like, yeah, well, that's right, and happy Father's Day.
And the show was kind of dry.
Yeah, so it was kind of dry.
We went on to the topic that we were supposed to have this week.
Yeah, so we wanted to.
Now it's jumping off.
Because at first we was about to go to sleep. He was yawning. Yeah, so we had to switch it up so that people would be interested, because we was about to go to sleep.
Brenda said, I can't.
Okay, so we had to go back, because we had to take time out to explain to Tony what was going on. Okay, Tony, you need to read Valerie's what she said, because she never answered your question.
And what was the question? He said name some allies, right?
Yeah, he said name some allies, and Valerie said the people protesting are all cultures, and I want them marching for us. It's a strategic necessary. And I'm all about my black people, but I'm not naive enough to believe we don't need allies. Never said we didn't. That's not what I was saying about that. But let me read BB's first. I have never ever walked around in my life worried about people's race. And no, we are not trash. And I raised my son to know you are just as good as no one.
Of course.
And I mean, no one is better than you are one another. And of course, we all raise our
children that way. And this is something that we put into our children. This is something we instill in our children, which is correct. But at the same time, when they go out into the world, there are certain things and certain people that tend to try and sway the belief and try to sway what they've been taught and sway what's on their mind.
And not only
make them feel a certain way for not being able to have certain things. And I mean, it's intricate when you start to get into it, because when you're around people that have more than you, they look you. It becomes I'll say this. It becomes a lesser look.
And not only that, you can teach your kids.
It's been Happy Father's Day, bro.
You can teach your kids all you want to believe.
Yo, I'm sending my love to. I got your. I'm sorry, baby. I got your number. I'm gonna call you.
You can raise your kids all you want to believe that they are just the same as everybody else. We all do that. But I'm sure Rice taught His mother taught him that. I'm sure George Floyd, mother taught him that. I'm sure Michael, mother taught him that. So it's not. I'm saying that out there in the world,
it's different.
It's different.
It's different from being in the house.
Yeah,
when you're at home, it's one thing.
We raise our children to be
respectful, to have morals and equals and all of that stuff.
But that don't stop them from dying every day.
And that don't stop, the white people from doing what they're doing.
Exactly.
And that it's not, and racism is continuing. Like, listen, man, I'm gonna tell y'all something about racism, right? This was in 1985. I said about 84, 85. I'm living in Babylon, Long Island. And I'm telling you, when I tell you I had to fight every day for my life, when I fought physically, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, around the clock, it was like that because of the color of my skin. And I'm telling you, and this is in the North now, most people experienced this type of racism in the South. This was in Babylon, Long Island, in New York City, New York State. I'm telling you, like, I experienced racism firsthand in the 85, 84, 85, like it was 69, 60, 60, 65, 66, between 65 and 69. Like, I really experienced racism, like, at its full peak. Me and my brother went to the store, and these guys tried to run us down in a station wagon. And when you see a station wagon from a distance with the street lights shining down, the street lights hits that top rack that's on the station wagon, and it looks like lights, right? So we was figuring that it was the police, coming to make sure everything was cool or whatever. And the car never slowed down. So I grabbed my brother and I pushed him out of the way, and I stood there, and the car came right for me. So I moved out of the way and I hopped up on the fence, and the dude swung the tail of the car. He turned the wheel and swung the tail of the car and knocked the fence down where I just climbed over, right? I ran into a yard and I hid behind it was like a little van or something in the yard. And they got out of their car. They came into the yard where I was at. They had axe handles, chains, all kinds of stuff, a crowbar. And by the grace of God, I got out of there. I'm not going to run the story forever, but praise God, I got out of there. And when the police came to the house, I had explained to Mom what happened, right? And I explained to my mom what took place. And don't you know, the police officer was telling my mom, he was explaining the color of the station wagon that committed this crime against me and my brother, right? And then you know what he told my mom? There's nothing we could do about that.
And Ibn said it's even scarier when black cops start bugging too, because when they put on that uniform, they're blue.
Cuz Steve, what's up, man? Happy Father's Day, bro.
It's worse up here because it's behind closed doors. Down in the Bible Belt, they don't care if they're racist. True.
That's right, Steve. That's right.
Black North cop split my head open and stomped me out back in the 90s. They ain't no difference because they're blue.
That's their color. They blue.
Yeah, once you put on that uniform, it's blue. Not for all.
Not you know what? I want to make this disclaimer, right? Not every police officer is a bad police officer, because I got some friends that that are on the police force and on the sheriff's office, that are sheriff's officers, and these are some of the best dudes you ever want to link up with and stuff like that. So I'm not going to say every cop, but my thing is this too. Like when you start to get into, all these police officers doing this negative stuff, like at what point do some of these guys stand? Do you stand up or shut up? What's happening? Is there a point where you're not being blamed because you're not doing anything? Shouldn't you? Shouldn't you get blamed because it's like you're standing around watching this, and then at the same time you took an oath to uphold the law, right?
Exactly.
And you're supposed to protect and serve. My thing is this: you get shot on the street by a cop, it's still murder. You get shot on the street by a civilian, it's a murder.
You said not all cops are bad. She said, but they all abide by that blue creed.
Yeah, they do. That's right. They do. They do.
You do have cops out there that stand up though and say, I'm not
a part of that.
I'm not
a part of that.
I'm gonna, and if it costs them their job, it costs them their job. But that's what we're saying. That if they are that type of cop, then kudos for them. But if they're not, then they just as bad as the one that beat you.
That's a fact. Eben said, he said you're
right, but most of the good cops aren't stationed in their hood.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
That's the truth, bro. That's the truth.
Amen to that.
With that, man, it's just it's a situation where it becomes it's a situation where it becomes either you gonna stand for it or you're not. I mean,
and that's with anything, because I believe this. Even when you see, social media has become very popular, mostly because everybody is filming everything, and so. Like the fights, the kids fighting on online. When you see the fights and the two kids fighting, and everybody standing around filming. Everybody that's standing around filming is wrong, and should get the same punishment as those two kids fighting, because they are not doing anything. I have seen films where the mothers, the parents, was filming while the kids fought, which should be a form of abuse to me. Mm-hmm. That's just my opinion, but that's how I feel. Because if you're that, give me a nice word to say, that you're going to sit up there. I was not trying to go there, but that's what it is. Sit up there and film two children fighting, and you're grown and should know better, then that's child abuse.
It's child abuse.
It's child abuse.
It's a form of child abuse, though. It is. No, it really is. No, that's a fact. That's definitely a fact.
So it is, and I think that's the same thing when it goes to cops. The cops that stood up there and filmed it and did not do anything, or don't say anything, or they know that their partner or the person the cop next to them is crooked, and they don't say nothing, and they just let it go, then they're just as bad. They're guilty too. Ibn said, how many times you had...
Wait. Steve says...
Some cops are just FD before they join the force and use the badge to wreak havoc.
FD? Effing D-heads, maybe? Facts?
No, FKDICK, I think he said.
Effing...
Some kids said Effing D.
Yeah, Effing D's, okay.
Before they join the force and use the badge to wreak havoc.
Yeah, and use it as power, because...
And some were punks, and so they put on that badge and think they Superman. That's the other ones. Mm-hmm. Ibn said, how many times you had to run out the studio to get me rugged and stomp out terrible sheesh. If it wasn't for you keeping us in the studio, Lord only knows where we would be.
That's a fact.
Again, that goes back to product of your environment, or remember how I said if you had somebody to inspire you or to keep you, that goes back to that. Thank you for making that point.
Yeah, Eben, that's true. Because it was a few times.
He's saying
effed up. I got you, Steve. Yeah, I got you, cuz. Some cops are. Yeah, they are. Some cops are punks.
Yep.
Yeah, they are.
And then they put on that badge. They
and they
probably
become Superman.
got, yep, they probably got picked on or beat up.
Here's the
And
situation.
so they put on the uniform, and then all of a sudden they think.
I had a situation one time, right? I always got a situation, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no story.
We had a my brother, my youngest brother, Rai, his at the time his girlfriend, she had a party, and it was at the Elks in Plainfield.
Is this something that you shouldn't be naming names about?
I ain't tripping. Okay. No, I don't dry snitch. I don't do that. Okay. I don't dry snitch. Yeah, that sounds terrible. I don't be snitching. I don't do that. But anyway, she had a party, and we went to the party. And at the time, Plainfield and Newark was rivals. They didn't get along. So it was a bunch of dudes in the party that didn't like the fact that we were there from Newark. Meanwhile, I was born in Plainfield, right? But anyway, the thing, we got into it, and the whole joint jumped off. We start banging out. So it went from inside the place to outside. And when we got outside, the police were outside, and they was breaking up the fight and all of that stuff.
Exactly, Evan.
And one of the police officers grabbed me and pushed me up against the building. And he pulled out the nightstick, and he had the nightstick like pushing it like this against my neck. And I was like this, trying to, keep the nightstick from choking me. And some of the cats that I came with was like, yo, hold up, nah. Like, chill. We ain't doing that. So I kept telling the cop, I said, look, man, these dudes was jumping my brother. You know what I'm saying? They tried to mace my brother inside. I want to get back inside to make sure he's okay. So the cop was cursing me black. He was cursing me out, going off and all. Right, blue, basically. But you know what I mean? So he was, just being real disrespectful and all of that. And I told him, I said, man, listen, at this point, I don't even care, right? I'm going inside to check out my brother because I'm not going to leave my brother in there, inside the building to get stomped out, and I go in there and he's dead or something like that. So either you're going to get off me or we're going to fight, right? And he said, I wish you would move. You move and I'm going to break your neck. And from that point on, I picked him up, dumped him on the ground, hooked off on him a couple of times. And when I did that, some other cops started running up, and the sergeant jumped out of the car because Rara's girlfriend knew the sergeant, and she knew the councilman. And the councilman, she had called the councilman and told him what was going on, and he sent the sergeant down there. So when the sergeant came, he pulled the other cop, the other cops that was grabbing me, he pulled them off, he broke it up. Meanwhile, when I didn't get inside, Rara was trashing my man like he was, but I didn't know, you know what I mean? Because it was a bunch of dudes inside with Rara. Mm-hmm. But the guys we came with, they was everything was just, it was a melee. But I'm just saying, like, sometimes cops take it, they take it to an extreme when it don't have to go there. You know what I mean? Even when you're trying to be, even if you're trying to be, how can I say, politically correct with them, mm-hmm. so to speak. If you being nice or, you're not being combative, mm-hmm. I'll say that. They mm-hmm. still try to, you know what I mean? And this guy, he was going off, and I was like, bro, I'm just trying to get inside to make sure my brother's all right. And you holding me up, they could be inside stomping them, mm-hmm.
And just as Ibn said, we used to beat them up in high school, and they used that badge as a get back. That's true.
That's a
fact. Roselle, perfect example. My first ex-husband, his brothers was in Roselle when Roselle was mostly white, and so they went to school. The cops, the men that they went to, the boys that they went to school with became cops, and they used to beat them up in school. So when they got out of school, the white guys became cops, and they harassed them all the time. And this was no exaggeration, because I thought it was exaggeration too, because they would say no matter where they went, they would get stopped by the cops. If they were in the car, your car was going to get stopped. And my ex-husband used to tell me this until I started riding with him. And I never got stopped before. Until every time he was in the car, I would get stopped and harassed. And then when they found out who I was, that I was with him, then they started stopping me and harassing me. And it was just all behind when they were in school. My ex-husband and his brothers, they all would beat them up. And so now they put on a badge and they get payback. So it happens.
And that's terrible because, everybody doesn't deserve that.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody doesn't deserve that. I mean, and it's terrible that these brothers are losing their lives to this senseless, stuff
But that
out here,
goes
man.
back to product of your environment or excuse. Now, in that case, they use that as an excuse.
They use that as an excuse to get back at your ex-husband and them for getting whooped on in school.
Exactly.
Yeah, we do. We got to hook up, bro.
Coming down there next month.
Oh, no doubt. You know what's up. I'm here.
Most definitely. I went off of Valerie. Valerie and Tony and me was going through this thing, and we got way off the subject. And I'm sure by now, because being senile and old that my sister is, she probably forgot.
That's not nice. That's not nice.
I'm a product of my environment.
For the process.
What the heck is the subject? See, Mr. and Mrs. Hatchett. See, I told you, it might not be nice, but do I know my sister? That is the second time I told you.
This all goes back to being a product of your environment, or is it an excuse? The cops doing what they're doing, when they got beat up in school, all of that stuff. This is all a product of your environment or a product of the process.
Do you understand?
Which in turn,
old lady.
which in turn, a product of the process, which in turn is the product of your environment. So, with that being said,
Steve said, "Don't talk about us old people." Look, I play it, but I'm one of them.
Because everybody on this joint except for Ibn and
Mom.
No.
I'm just
because
Mom always says she a teenager, so
yeah. Well, all right. And cousin Tony.
Oh, Tony is
everybody
older
in their 50s. What?
Yeah, Tony is older than me. Don't let him shortness fool you. Tony is older than me.
Get out of here, word.
Tony, I hope you're still there. And you better say something. Don't act like you all of a sudden you can't hear. Tony is older than me.
Damn, Tony, you old as hell. No, let me stop.
Just up, Terry. Tomorrow you won't remember. Maybe not, but at least I'm keeping up to date for 5 minutes.
Cops placed in certain neighborhoods that they
cannot and will not try to understand the culture.
Woo! That's another
prejudice. Thing. And I think they're placed there on purpose.
Of course they are. Yeah, Steve in his 60s.
Is he?
Yeah.
Don't
he look good, but
you look good.
Yo, and that song you got on YouTube is crazy too. Not to change the subject from Mom's question, but I love that joint. That joint is crazy. You went on that. I gotta talk to you too. After this, I'm gonna call you because I got a situation going on. But anyway, what I can't see Mom's thing. I want to.
Mom said, "What about cops placed in certain neighborhoods that they cannot and will not try to understand the culture? They are placed there on purpose.
Yes, they are
to destroy that culture." Mm-hmm. That's my belief. That's my
opinion. You how can you? And that's totally wrong.
And Steve said they don't care about no culture. Exactly.
Some people are just
products of crazy. Exactly, yeah. Valerie. Some people are. Ibn said, "You know what Scarface said? To die young's a blessing. To get old, you live twice."
That's a fact. Yeah, yeah. So I just think that when they place those ones in the places where they don't understand the culture, when they do that, it's because they don't care. It's really
It's
not.
because they've
It's really
put
not
them
a
there
thing to
so that
them.
they can destroy.
Exactly. It's called population
They don't
control.
want them to understand or do right.
Right. It's terrible. So look, you guys,
We have been
because I
on
got
for almost
yeah,
an
almost
hour
an
and a
hour,
half.
hour and a half.
Not that I've been having fun, so not that we've been
Yeah, I don't want Facebook
clock
to kick us off
watching.
either. But
They don't do that for 4 hours. We got 4 hours on the
oh
stream
well,
before. Yeah.
our other stream is different. My stream when I'm DJing,
Yeah. For some
they
reason.
clip my wings with 5 songs. They cut me right off.
Oh.
Sucker.
Stay tuned for him on Thursday. You are going on Thursday, right?
Yeah, I finally got the sound right. I had
And you're gonna do a pop up tonight.
difficulty the last 2 times. I may do a pop up tonight, man. Right after I get finished here, and I got to make a few phone calls. I might pop up for just Father's Day and play some joints for y'all, man, and so everybody can enjoy this some nice little club music or what have you. The feed is jumping, so I guess we can't jump off yet.
The back. Okay, so
this is BB talking, y'all.
Let me make sure I get
Steve
everybody.
said okay. He was saying okay to me. I'm gonna call him on this.
Okay. So BB said the bad cops are tarnishing the good cops. They are working getting the bad ones out, and we have to teach our children how to conduct themselves when they're stopped. Don't reach for nothing, no matter what they need. Don't talk shit while they're talking. Don't get out the car and fight them, knowing there is a gun. And when you see you're getting pulled over, call 911 and say you're afraid and can you send out an officer. There are so many police out there that never step foot in a.
You gotta click on it. Go up.
I did.
No, click on the message. See, it says show. Click on the plus sign. It's gonna show the rest of it.
No, it did. See, no,
never step foot in the hood, I guess.
And stopping all this mess. If culture, Steve said, in culture, I'm gonna respond to that in a minute, BB. If culture was the issue, then some of these white folks would have gotten shot too because they're always stealing our culture. I love you guys. Keep doing your thing. Thank you, Ibn, and stopping all.
Love you, bro. Happy Father's Day.
You know what, BB? I agree to that to a point because yes, we have to. It's not we should teach our children. We have to teach our kids what to do.
Okay.
It's not right.
And
even after we did all that, even after we I'm gonna let you, even after we teach them all that, it still does not stop them from getting killed. And that's just the cold hard facts. We must tell them all that, but there has been people killed even after they have done all that. They still get shot.
That's a fact. And like my question is like, and I'm not saying that you have to be combative with them like right off rip when it first happens and all of that, but like I'm just saying this. Why do we have to suck up when they pull us over? You understand what I'm saying? We have rights, man. Like, okay, I can't ask you questions. You know what I'm saying? Like they doing stuff like this now. Like if they pull you over, the driver's driving the car. They should deal with the driver, period. That's it. That's all. Nothing else said about it. Now they coming over to the driver's side, the passenger side and asking you for your ID and what you doing and where you going and all. That ain't none of your business.
And you know why we have to sucker? For only one reason.
Or you get blasted.
To stay alive. That's the only reason why we have to suck. And it's wrong. But that's the only reason. And then sometimes that still don't save our life. Even when we suck up, that still don't save our life. Because it's not just getting stopped anymore in a car. You could be jogging down the street and get shot.
Yeah, no.
And because that's what happens.
Yeah, no.
You could be going into the store. Or you could be at the park playing with a toy gun and get shot. So it doesn't matter, even though we have to teach our kids this, it does not matter one way or another. Because the fact is, and you can call the 911 and say, I'm in fear of my life. But before they get there, because don't you think some of those 911 operators are in the same mind frame of some of the cops? And by the time the message get there, even if they're not in that same mind frame, by the time someone get there, you're already gone. You're already dead. Just because the color of your skin frightens them. So they're going to say they was threatened. The real deal, they just threatened by the color of your skin, but they were threatened.
Yeah, that's a fact. So listen, you guys, we've been on for an hour and 30 minutes. I got other stuff we got to do, man. I love you guys. I thank you for tuning in.
Don't forget The Power of God. Get your copy now.
My wife's book, The Power of God, is still on sale. It's a great read.
$15, $3 shipping and handling.
We actually writing a book together. It's called
From My Rib. Look out for it.
Look out for that. Look out for
Life After Bent Knees.
That's her other book she's
coming up. Look out for my sister Val. She was on her
web series,
Corona Chronicles. Yeah, her web series too. But Corona Chronicles, I was one of the authors for that.
And her web series is called
The Ladies of the Book Club.
Yeah, that's dope, y'all. If you get a chance, check that out. That's dope. It's on YouTube.
She also has 2 books, the Book Club 1 and the Book Club 2, Carol's Return. So you can get her books too.
That's dope. And it's crazy. The book is crazy. I got the beat tape circulating on all the stream sites. It's still out there. And again, I want to thank everybody that supported me and went out and bought it. And even if you went on Spotify or whatever and listened to it, I appreciate that too. I DJ on Thursday nights. I do the live stream on Thursday nights, man. Y'all can check me out on Thursday nights. It's called the 4 Alarm Blaze. I do that live stream on Thursday nights. I got the class that I'm still working on. This is really intricate. There's a lot of stuff with that, but it's definitely coming up. I'm getting ready to dump everything in my wife's lap and let her handle that.
As if I don't have enough stuff in my lap already.
Well, you married me, so it is what it is. So anyway.
Also, my sister has a publishing company.
You want a book published? Holla at us.
Yeah, or poems published. Spoken word. Also, I do contracts. I create contracts. So if you need a contract for anything, I'm there for you. If you're starting a business, if you want to start a business and you have no clue where to start or what to do, also
call my wife.
Call me. I can help you. I'll do the legwork for some of the stuff for you.
If you don't have a telephone number or anything, you could contact us on Facebook.
Exactly.
And just leave her a number or leave her some contact information and the messenger, and she'll definitely get back to you. And she's great at helping people start a business. She's really great at that. So with that being said, we thank you guys. We thanks for the topics.
The opinions expressed is only ours and our experiences. We don't have license, so keep that in mind. If you like what you're hearing, like and share.
And on YouTube, we want you to subscribe, press the notification bell,
and like.
And leave a comment.
Yes.
And with that saying, another Hatchett Chronicles is in the books, and we are out.
Peace.
Thank you very much. We love y'all. Happy Father's Day to the brothers.
Happy Father's Day. Peace and love and happiness.